my sparkly little darlings. Right, we've got a lot to talk about today. I actually wrote myself some notes. How strange is that? There's a lot that wants to come out at the moment, a lot. So we get really busy with taking actions, but it's just busy work. It's just action after action after action that we think we should be taking, that someone told us that we should be taking, but they're not really soul aligned actions. And that's what they're missing the mark. It's almost like I can see all these arrows, pew, 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 they're flying off everywhere in all directions, shotgun approach, and one lands, right? I mean, it has to. If you're firing 200 arrows, one has to land, right? And that one lands, and you're like, yeah, it's working. So all I've got to do now is hustle harder. So we hustle, 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 and we fire 500 arrows and 3 land. And we're like, yay, I'm winning. So now I've just got to hustle harder. So then you fire at, 1,100 arrows. But the thing is you're just buying into the belief that it has to be hard. You're buying into the belief that you have to take all of the actions just in case some of them work. You're ignoring the fact that you always know the exact one right action to take. Now, you might not be hearing that one right action to take right now because you might not be tapping into your soul. It's harder. It's so much easier than what you think, but we make it so hard because we're just so constantly tapped into that hustle. We're so constantly overwhelmed. We're so constantly distracting ourselves because we're afraid of what we're going to hear if we actually tap into soul. Now, I've got a very long story about that, and if you've read my book Woman Up, by the way, which is now available in physical form, you can go into Amazon and order it. I talk in there about being scared to really open up and listen to what my soul had to say to me because I was worried that it was going to make me do some things that I didn't want to do. It didn't turn out that way at all, and it's a very long story, so I'll leave you to read it in the book. But the point is that you don't have to be afraid to tap into soul. You just have to open up and know that what is inside you is good. But we hold so many beliefs that hold us back. We think that intrinsically we're not a good person. We don't trust ourselves. We think that if we were allowed to take any action that we wanted, or if we were allowed to manifest anything that we wanted in this world, that the world would turn to shit because we'd all be like grabbing off each other and asking for things that hurt other people. It's just not true. You're a beautiful, beautiful soul. And so is everyone else, right? Sure, there's bad behavior around, but it's because people are not tapped into their souls. And you, darling, you have the ability to tap into your soul so deeply. I know because you're on this page watching this, right? So I know that you can tap into soul if that's what you want to do. Now, here are the things. We don't have enough space. And by space, I mean mental and physical space. We're living in cities, we're crammed in around everyone, we don't go walking in nature, we certainly don't have any brain space. And the minute we start to clear the clutter and the thoughts and think a real thought, we dive into a distraction, scrolling on Facebook, watching Netflix, going out with friends. And that's the reason, right, that people say if you spend too much time alone, then you get all crazy. You sure do. Do you know why? Because when you spend time alone, you can actually tap into soul. You need to turn down the noise on society if you want to turn up the volume on what your soul is saying. And let me tell you, you definitely want to turn up what your soul is saying, right? Because it's good shit. You want to be listening to this stuff. You want to be hearing the one aligned action to take so you don't have to fire 500,000 arrows and hope that one of them will land. Because the longer, and I know that you think, yeah, I've been doing this, I can still keep doing this, but you can't forever, right? Without falling into burnout. Because the thing that you're buying into is that the harder you work, the better results you get. Now, that is only sustainable up to a certain point. And I'm fond of saying you can grow any business in 6 months to 6 figures with hustle and throwing everything you've got in it. Beyond that, there's burnout and not even greater figures, right? Because you need to actually tap into soul and be taking the right actions, not just every action. And this is what I'm saying, and I'm seeing a lot of this on social media as well. People are just sick of the gurus, right? Sick and tired of this is the way that you do it, and then they buy these big expensive courses and they get the secret formula, but it doesn't work for them. Of course it doesn't work for you, but I don't want you to feel bad if you've spent a lot of money on gurus. I mean, I'm not going to say that I haven't, because I have. I've spent a lot of money. You wouldn't even, it'd make your eyes water. But here's the thing that I know, right? They give you a formula that works for them, and it does work. And you're like, yeah, it worked for them, so it's going to work for me. Of course it worked for them. It was from their soul. They did the work. They tapped into soul, so they do deserve the big money. However, it'd be great if they could teach you to tap into soul instead of teaching you their formula, because their formula works for them and it might work for a few others that kind of maybe have the same energetic imprint. I don't really know how to describe that to you any better, but it works for some people, but not the majority of the people, right? In fact, I'm working with a woman now who's going great guns, right? Like getting really, really good results, but she's just come off the back of spending a lot of money, like in excess of 20,000 US dollars on a guru for a system that didn't work. And this is kind of her last ditch attempt, but this attempt is something different. And that's the whole point, right? You've tried all the other things that didn't work. They didn't work for you, darling, because you're a soul-led entrepreneur. Now, you can deny it until the cows come home, but you are here to do big things in the world. And until you fully tap into your soul, you're not going to release the results that are inside of you. And just like the woman that I'm working with now, honestly, it's just so beautiful to see her shine. It's just absolutely beautiful seeing her tap into her own soul. No one is the expert of you. No one is the guru of you. I certainly don't have the answers for you. I help you tap into your soul because I don't want you working with me forever, right? I'm here to work with thousands, millions of people across the world because I'm an energy maverick. I'm here to up level people's energy. So I want to work with you for a short amount of time, empower you forward and give you the skills that you need to go on your own. I don't want you dependent on my system because it's not going to work for you, right? Sure, I have all the tools and the tricks and I teach you what to do, but the biggest thing is tapping into your soul. It really is what works. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about when the thing that came up, the message that wanted to be shared with you today was, of course, you go a little bit cray cray when you spend too much time alone. And people are like, you shouldn't spend too much time alone because you get too crazy. You sure do, because there's no distractions. When you're alone and there's no TV, there's no Facebook, there's nothing to distract you, then your soul talks to you. And sometimes the shit it says is frightening. So yeah, it makes you a little bit cray cray. And once you get past all those frightening things and you do all the work and you step into your soul, then you start to get real soul messages. And sometimes they are cray cray, right? Like you just have to actually let them out because no one that made any difference in this world said something normal. I mean, the guy that said the earth wasn't flat, right? He was imprisoned. He died in prison. There's just so many examples. The guy who said that there was an energy field around our body and that it dictated our health and that he could see it. People thought he was absolutely mad and locked him up, right? Now we have Curlane photography that proves it. So just because what you're thinking and what you're wanting to birth into this world is not yet normal, it doesn't matter, right? You're not going to get locked up these days. It doesn't happen anymore, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm going to get locked up. But you need to say what is within your soul. Otherwise, that's when you feel like, oh my God, the word is so heavy. I just don't want to be here. Honestly, I would say 9 out of the 10 people that I work with have got to a point in the past, and that's why they're doing the work now, where they're like, if this is the way that life gets to continue, I just don't want to fucking borrow it. I got there myself, right? When I was ignoring my soul, it crushed me. It absolutely crushed me, and I didn't want to be alive anymore. The reason I'd leap out of bed, like I was awake at 4 o'clock today, and I was like, holy hell, is it time to get up already yet? Because I was so excited about what I'm doing today, right? And that's the way that you want your life to roll. I mean, I exist on 6 hours of sleep every night. That's plenty, right? Because I'm tapped into the flow of the universe. You don't have to rely on your own energy. That would be boring, right? Why would you do that? It'd be like pushing your car instead of putting petrol in it. Anyway, I think I've rambled on to you guys for long enough. If you've just joined on now, hey, thank you for joining me. Sorry, I haven't really been paying attention to who's watching me because I've been rambling on. I've been kind of in flow. And I'd love for you to be in your flow. I really would love for you to be in your flow. Now, I am releasing something soon. That's what I'm so excited about. Fem-powered empire building is something I've been running for years. It is super powerful. It is quantum. It is cray cray. It is tapped into soul. It is all the things that I would have previously hated to admit to you that I do, right? But I do. This is what I do. I'm an energy maverick. I help you to tap into the energy of the universe, and I help you to tap into your soul, because that is what gets the business results. You tapping into your own soul. It's not a formula. So I have something super exciting. It's called Fem-Powered Empire Building, and I'm not going to give you the details now, but if you want to get in on my very, very, very early bird special, then come and have a chat to me. Send me a PM maybe, and I will send you some secret information about it because it's not in public yet. I'm wishing you a fabulous day forward. Remember, you are the answer that you seek. Don't go waffling off into all this guru stuff. Don't go waffling off on your to-do list. Don't go waffling off on that worked for that person, so I'm going to give that a go. Know with what you know and hear. And you know, right? Because your body will have a physical reaction to what is right for you. Anyone that's in anxiety or feeling those intense feelings is not listening to what's in their soul. That's why they're feeling those feelings. Okay, have a fabulous day forward. Remember, together we shall rise. Bye, darlings.